RTD Live Talk, Detroit's #1 late night YouTube talk show. We are live again Tuesday evening, the 14th day of the month of July. And we are almost halfway through the month of July, approaching the middle of summer for the most part, it seems, or the beginning of summer still. But excited to be back for another live stream. As always, wanted to check in, see what's on your mind, find out what else is hot in the news we can talk about and discuss it, as well as share with you a couple articles and throw out a couple questions and see what you guys think. And then go from there. As always, I want to hear from you guys. So if we have any new viewers, feel free to let me know where you're watching from. Would love to acknowledge your presence and give you a little shout out and also find out what's going on in your neck of the woods. So that being the case, welcome to this live stream. We got Jay says, hey, Mike. We got John, the 10th man, says, hello from San Antonio. Just got back from Mexico, I believe. Give me the rundown on Mexico, my friend. Was it normal or a little bit different? Or give me the rundown on that. Curious to find out your experience there. Kevin says, hey, Mike, when will everyone rebel against face masks? When will business owners stop putting mask required signs on the front door? This is sad. Unfortunately, Kevin, I don't see small businesses rebelling just because out of fear of stirring the pot even more outside of what has been done to them with the shutdowns and all the authoritative type of policies passed down from the governor. So I don't see stores really rebelling against that. And what's most surprising, or not too surprising at this point, but yet the big box stores, how they have been very profitable during these last 120 days or so during this new norm. And a lot of the small businesses, a lot of small grocery stores, I'm assuming in various areas throughout the country, have not been doing as well. So I don't think the big box stores mind, whereas the small businesses will be too afraid to do so, I think. But great question. Curious to hear what you think about that. And Aaron says, please talk about panic buying. And so assuming you're referring to a lot of the information being given now about the supply chain and food shortages and things of that nature, as far as people buying a little bit more than they need out of fear of things not being on the shelves, similar to what happened back in early March. And so not surprised at all with the very possibility of being locked down again. I would imagine a lot of people might want to get a head started and accumulating some of the things that they know they're going to need, especially if they may not have an opportunity to roam freely as they would like, and on top of other things. So let me know what you think about that one. Solo says, what up, Mike? Solo in the building from Western Massachusetts. How you doing, my friend? What else we got here? Any ideas on how to make an income with these lockdowns, practical ways? Income. Well, I believe personally, being that we're going digital, there's a lot of opportunities via entrepreneurship online. And so outside of finding out different ways of having different products and services and whatnot online, I think transitioning and accumulating and starting to what I call digital real estate, where you are able to produce something of value that is done through the internet. It will be the future, because as we're witnessing the job implosion as well as just the shift in how labor is viewed, I think anything that's done online will be somewhere to start. So different ways for different folks. I would say the easiest way might be to take something that you're interested in, something you're passionate about, and start formulating a community around it so that you can bring along other people on the journey with yourself and teach something or share some information or something like that. Might be a way to start small and then eventually grow something, because what we're going to be reduced to is just pure community. Like the whole idea of being able to connect via internet allows you to gather people from around the world. And I think that's something that's very valuable these days. So that would be my first thought. But yet, curious to find out what you guys think as well. Gardena, California. Pay me money bag. All right. I apologize for that for some reason. some type of internet connection. But anyway, so Keenan, let me know about that. The banks are closed and everything's consolidated to Wells Fargo. You say, let me know. Give me. All right. So not sure what's going on with that one, but hopefully we're back here. So outside of the internet going out, it is what it is. We'll try to make the best of it. Let me make sure I'm streaming. And so that's one of the downsides of the internet is that it might go down without you knowing. So let me see what we can do here, and then hopefully we can get back into it. All right. So it says he's back. Okay, so we're here. So once again, I apologize for the hiccup and inconvenience there. But that's one of the downsides of the internet. When the internet goes bad and it says you're connected to Wi-Fi, but I'm really connected to the router. So whatever. But we're back here. So let's talk about some things. So let me get back in the chat real quick, and then we'll get started. All right. So I was curious to find out. Someone said they went to Mexico. Give me the rundown on Mexico. Some CPR. What we got here? So I got a couple articles I want to share with you, and then we can go from here. Jessica, Psalm 91 every day. I'm from Chicago. Thanks for joining us from Chicago. Easy to get in by car. Just got stopped at a state border. Officials just checked under the hood and trunk. Went to San Miguel, where lots of expats live. Tourism down 90%. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So let me get right into it, man. I want to talk about some. I want to put some questions out there as well as get a chance to hear from you guys. And so one of the things, an article I came across earlier that I couldn't find it, but it has to do with what's going on and how the educational system will be reshaped as a result of this experience we're all encountering. And so I want to put up this article right here just to let you know where I'm going with this one. So this is an article I came across, and this happens to be as a result of what's going on in California. And so it says LA and San Diego school districts to start the year online as the virus cases surge. And so the mainstream media will continue to pump up and to, make sure they highlight and showcase numbers. Whatever the numbers are, take them for what they are, but we're going to continue to hear about numbers going up and we're going to lead the world and all this type of stuff, whatever. Okay. So apart from that, we got the leading 6 or 7 mainstream news sources, all owned by the top, the top, right up to the top. And they're all in cahoots with the CDC, John Hopkins, you name it. They're all in the same little boat as to trying to paint as much fear as possible. And so here we have, not only have parents been rattled with the idea of losing what was always considered, and especially in the United States of America, job security, the idea of being able to get up, go to work and earn your keep and do all that stuff that the American dream was founded upon. That's changed. And then the next tier down will be college students. And so going into this upcoming school year, I'm witnessing more sports programs shutting down, which I'm not surprised at all. But then we have the universities shifting to online, and some are talking about, here in Michigan especially, what I've gathered is they're talking about having a restructured campus format, but they'll get out of school earlier. And even the students, I was talking to some of the students, and they were saying they don't really buy into it. They're just more so trying to continue to get tuition at the same dollar amount without having to make any adjustments. So, but beyond that, the people and the age group that will suffer the most during this transition, what I believe is going to be a long decade transition, will be the youth, those that are high school, elementary, and middle school, and beyond, and younger. And so I'm going to find out from my parents out there, those that have their children in private, public, or whatnot. What's your experience so far in your neck of the woods? And so here, because of California shutting down, I got this article here that I just came across talking about online schooling. And so with online schooling comes with more responsibility for parents to make sure children are getting their work done and all those type of things. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts on how this current situation will alter the education paradigm moving forward and how it will impact children in a very negative way. But yet for some, it might be beneficial because more parents will have more say-so as to what goes on into their kids' learning experience. So curious to find out what you guys think. I want to actually open the phone lines up and get your take a little sooner than I normally would, because I got a couple other articles we're going to get to. But I think this one is relatively important because I want to hear from my parents out there. So give me a call. Let's talk about a little bit, or whatever else is on your mind. Feel free to do so. And as always, highlight at Rethinking the Dollar so to stand out and I'll be able to see it and definitely touch on it. Let me see here. What we got? Still see some Mexico talk here. He says, Mike, you got to rethink your internet connection. Yeah, internet usually is good on my side. It's just, one of the downsides of internet. It goes out or whatever happens. So low blood pressure, RT, are school property taxes going down? I would probably say no. I don't foresee that happening. And so most of the school district, states, as well as cities are on the hook for that. So I don't really think they're concerned with where the funds come from or if they're actually still going to be able to charge people for that privilege of taxing them for those educational dollars. And so let me see. It says, go along and get along hits is what's up in mind. And so let me see. It says, John, the 10th Master, you're talking about, still about Mexico. It says, the main plaza in Miguel de Allende was quiet on the first day I visited. Tourism seemed to just begin returning. Many were trying to make food at home to sell door to door. Greg, okay, good question. It says, property taxes for my property in San Antonio went up. Property taxes went up from 4K to 6K. Whoa. All righty. That's a hell of a increase there, my friend. So, John, it looks like you might be moving to Mexico full time. Let's get these calls in, man. I want to hear from you guys. Let's talk. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, this is Pay Me Money Back, Killeen, Texas. How you doing?
I'm doing good, my man. What's on your mind tonight?
I just called to tell you, man, like, I have my kids. I got a son and a daughter, and one's 8, one's 11.
Mm-hmm.
And I got them in private school.
Okay.
But, we do private school from home. But this is a thing as far as parents go, I'm trying to touch on.
Okay.
We don't have the knowledge to give our kids to teach that they're teaching our kids in this day and age.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's a big difference people got to realize. Now I'm going to ask all the parents that's in this chat tonight, including you, Mike.
Okay.
We press almost every night about we're moving into a digital economy. We're moving into a digital economy. We're moving into a digital economy. Now, a show of thumbs in the chat to how many people are actually teaching their kids about the digital transformation that we're getting into. How many parents are even learning about the digital transformation that's going on? So we can say digital. If we're not passing the knowledge on to our kids or even retaining it for ourselves,
right,
you're going to be lost anyway, no matter if you have silver or gold. It doesn't matter.
Right. I do agree. And so when it comes to just a little bit of information or education towards a digital world, one thing I attempted to, and here's another thing, another situation here. So me being somewhat in the digital realm myself with video content creation and other things I have going on, I try to, inform my kids that nowadays it's easier than ever to share something to all of your friends as your first line of experimentation, see what works and what doesn't. Because every kid nowadays, majority of them have a cell phone. And so the cell phone itself can be used as a viable tool, or it can be a hindrance, depending on how you encourage your kids to use it. Because now we have kids, able to just, either play video games professionally, or you can just tweet and text and all types of YouTubes. And so there's opportunities to get involved in this new ecosystem here. But, it does take a little trial and error. But if every parent if every kid has a cell phone, that right there can be your start if you know how to use it as a viable tool.
That is definitely true. So I just hope that all parents are retaining some knowledge, or between the cigarette break or whatever you got to do throughout your day, just try to gain a little bit of knowledge to feed your kids. And it does matter what grade your kids are. So if they are of age to retain some of this knowledge, just take it slowly but surely with them. But try to learn a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, Paper Money Bags, appreciate you, my man. Good thoughts there.
No problem.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man, I appreciate the call as always. Let's talk. I'm curious to see what your thoughts are on this matter. So for those that are just tuning in, we're talking about the transition, this possible upcoming fall of kids no longer going to a building, but more likely being online, taught or whatnot. Curious to find out what you think. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Mike, it's low blood pressure. Corpus Christi. How's it going?
Corpus Christi. I'm doing good, my man. How you doing?
Good. I wanted to talk to the last caller and give him a little encouragement. Look, I got 6 kids. We homeschool, right?
Mm-hmm.
We did public school for the first couple of years for my oldest. It's just something inside you. You think, hey, I'm not going to be able to do it. The school, they have education, supposedly.
Mm-hmm.
And my kids, slowly, like, they learn how to read even quicker than the school, and don't think you don't know how that, like that the school has some magical tool, they got like 35 kids in the classroom. At home, you could sit down with your kids, you could teach them individually, and if you think they're not going to be up to date, like you said, hand them a cell phone, hand them a tablet, they'll figure that stuff out.
Yeah, I do agree. And I think this transition, when it comes to education for our kids, will be a learning experience for all of us, because I know me personally is just the idea of just having patience. And so, having experience working with kids often, so I have patience, but with your own kids as they learn to test and hit those certain buttons.
Mike, when your own kids, you could do things to them that the school cannot. So they're going to learn because you have capabilities that the school can't do physically to them. So they're going to learn, good or bad.
Yeah, you're right about that, man.
And also at home, you could take things away. You could reward them differently than at school, giving more encouragement to do the right thing.
Yeah.
But not only that, like you go to any school, public school, you tell them, okay, who's FDR? Any history professor in high school, they'll be like, oh, he's the greatest guy. He ended the Depression. And you ask them, you know that he confiscated gold from American citizens? They'll be like, what? What are you talking about? He's the best thing on earth.
Yeah.
It's nothing but propaganda at those schools, even colleges like that.
Yeah, very true, man. Well, hey, low blood pressure, I appreciate you calling as always, man. Good to hear your voice. Can get some more calls in here.
All right, just all the parents out there, I just want to tell them, don't be discouraged. Homeschool your kids. Get them out of the system. All right, bye.
All right. Yeah, man. Appreciate you calling. It's always good to hear your voice, Mr. Low Blood Pressure from Corpus Christi in the building. So let me hear your thoughts, man. Give me a call. Let's talk about this. What do my parents say out there? I want to hear some parents. Let me hear the parents tonight. Or if you plan on having kids in this next decade, as all this stuff unfolds, what are your thoughts about public school, private school, teaching them at home? Give me some thought. Give me some feedback. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, how you doing, Mike? It's Kenny from California.
Doing good, my friend. What's on your mind tonight?
Hey, I just had a question. Just about the mining stocks.
Mhm.
So, I just had a question about gold and silver mining stocks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So pretty much, I have a good amount of metal, and the premiums are so high on them.
Mm-hmm.
I was just wondering, how do you feel about the gold mining stocks, or do you feel like you should just deal with the premiums and stay with physical?
Great question, man. So my personal opinion is that definitely because the mining stocks are basically where it all begins for getting metals out the ground. And based upon, I guess, history and prior recessions and all types of events where currencies were questioned, mining stocks usually rally and they do well. And so I definitely think there's opportunity there. My only concern with mining stocks in the long term is that as this thing unwinds, this will not be just an ordinary recession type of event. So my concern will be down the line, governments possibly confiscating mines and stuff like that, where you'll probably get compensated at the end of the day, but yet it's nothing greater than having a physical in your possession. So making some profits to turn into actual physical metals, sure. But I personally, I make my first priority the physical, and then all the derivatives after that, which happens to be mining stocks itself. So it's opportunity there, my friend, if you know what you're doing.
Okay, I appreciate it, Mike. Thanks a lot.
Yes, sir. Good call. Thanks for calling.
Bye-bye.
Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from? Hello?
Haywood from the Atlanta suburb. How's it going, Mike?
I'm doing good, my friend. What's on your mind tonight?
Yeah, so look, as far as the school thing goes, I got 3 to 6-year-old. They'll be all right, right?
Yeah.
You got to get them off those conference calls. But I posted a little bit earlier about the banks closing.
Yeah.
I talked about consolidating the Wells Fargo.
Yeah.
Typical going to get my weight up, stop by my first normal bank. Closed. Okay. Let me go to the ATM. I got a decent limit, reduced by more than half. So now I'm going to go to another Wells Fargo. Closed. Finally, drive through and see if they have a note. All consolidated to one Wells Fargo. Huge line. But on the way, I stopped by 2 Bank of Americas, the same thing. Now, I posted, I usually don't get freaked out, but, the things that we all learn about and talk about.
Mm-hmm.
For the first time, I kind of felt like this is what it could be like when there's just nobody home.
So you went to a couple different banks, and so is this out this suburban Atlanta, smaller area, not many banks in that area. So you went to you said about 3 or 4 banks.
I went to a total of 5. 2 Bank of America, 3 Wells Fargo, 3rd Wells Fargo was open. You couldn't go inside, but they had the drive-through, which was obviously wrapped around the corner. You could just see people just hightailing it, not even waiting.
Yeah.
But for me, thinking the way we think, I'm like, no, I'll wait in line for an hour. What is your limit? Give it to me now.
Yeah. give me everything you can give me. Wow, that's
what could I have? It was even more than what I was going to get, but I was like, at this point, just what do you have that I can have?
So think about that, man. That sounds like a local bank run in a sense on that one bank where you said the line was wrapped around a building, and that's your area. So it's good to say there's going to be more small little events like that throughout the country that has either already happened or we're not hearing about them just as of yet. So that is the bank run in the making. That's bank issues. So I got a couple articles here on the banking sector, which is not going to be good news in the next half a year, couple months from now. So, yeah, man, hell of a story.
Well, that's what kind of played into it for me today was reading an article about the banks getting ready to weather the storm.
Yeah.
Whether they're going to be limiting your withdrawals or whatever it is. Wow, to see it today on this random Tuesday.
Yeah, man. And so I remember, so I'm going to put an article on the screen right here. So I was definitely going to touch on this, but it's about this current week here is the bank earnings week, where anticipation was they were going to be reporting some major losses, which apparently it shows that they do have that. But it's one of the things that they partially prepared for. But do you guys remember, I think it was was it February or March when the Federal Reserve removed the limits on the amount of reserves they had to have for depositors? So when they removed that right here freed up some extra liquidity for them to brace themselves for the impact of all these losses. And the sad part is this is only 90 days of losses right here. And so imagine the next 90 days and the next 90, because if they shut down the economy again, which I'd imagine that's what's going to happen the next couple of weeks and months around the country, that's going to be twice the amount of losses at a time where the Federal Reserve will have to respond very favorably for these guys. So all hell is breaking loose right now.
And look, I'm about to do a little blood pressure and get as much unsecured debt as I can. I thought he was crazy a couple of weeks ago when he said it, but you know what? I'm about to be applying all night. What can I have?
Hey, and so I can never say that wouldn't sound too far-fetched at this point, given the fact that the meltdown in the banking sector is happening now. So, yeah, I'm going to leave it at that, man. But I appreciate you calling and sharing your thoughts.
Yeah, have a blessed night.
Yeah, you too. Yeah, man. So that's that is interesting, man, how experience there. So I'm curious, just as we can get onto the banking sector as well. I'm open to get your thoughts still on the schooling side of things. Feel free to let me know about that. And so I got a couple of thoughts I lost, but it says checking in chat says Blunt News says not sending my sending my son back to school. It's an indoctrination camp. School raised workers, not business owners. Very true. Let me see what else is going on here. As always, give me a call. Let's talk a little bit. Let me find out your thoughts on the school situation just coming up this fall, as well as any issues on the banking side. Let's talk about that. I'm curious to find out any other experiences out there with bank closures or whatnot. So Steph's empty bank account says, hi, Mike. All our local ATMs have brand new sequential bills now. Really? Interesting. All local ATMs. Okay. Bars are closed. Let me see here. No child support. Concern for my boys. Don't want my boys be taken, injected, or forced into fighting. The reason Mexico is a choice because not as connected with tech. 5-10 years behind. Yeah, I can see a mass exodus out of the country, which already is underway now in certain areas where you can leave, out of concern for the direction of this country. And especially certain states appear to be further along when it comes to all the tracing mechanisms. And so I saw an article today about New York. And so it looks like when you fly into New York, they have more paperwork. They need to have your number and all those information to actually track you in the city or wherever you're going in New York to make sure you're not out and about having fun, possibly contaminating people. So, yeah, man. Let me see here. Let's talk some more. It says all the entry rates are 0. When will the death rate go up? I don't really think that's going to be the case. I don't think the death rate is actually of a concern in this whole situation. They're more so concerned with the idea of cases, promoting cases. The more numbers, I guess, the worse it is. Vince Grant, appreciate the love offering, my friend. Mighty generous. I thank you for that. It says, Mike, for any U.S. homeowner who wants to go solar, I'm helping homeowners get a 25 to 50% tax credit. Become energy independent, earn $1,000 per referral. I'm saving people between 10 to 50% on their energy bills and helping them prepare for the big shift. Vince Grant, that is a great opportunity for people, my friend. So I think you're down in Florida. So definitely, my friend, shoot me email with that information, and I'll definitely share it in the chat this evening. So take the time to shoot me an email with that information, and I'll put it in the chat, and then I'll give you a little plug, my friend, for this generous donation here. So definitely shoot me that email, and I'll share that with the community directly. And so let me know, is this just only in Florida, or are you doing it in any other places as well? But shoot me an email real quick, and I'll get that information out there. Okay, so let me get back in. So let's do this Wild West coming. Nationwide, what we got here? So I missed some phone calls. Forgive me. Let me get this going. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Mike, it's Pete in Colorado.
Pete, how you doing, my friend? What's on your mind tonight?
Oh, you're talking about my favorite subject, education.
Yes, sir. Give me your thoughts, my friend.
Well, as I think you know, I retired, from working in government school, not this year, but the end of last year.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's more or less, where do you want to begin? I see everybody jumping off the train.
Yeah. So give me your experience as a teacher over the years, how things have changed and how, I guess, the bureaucrats have come in and shifted the type and quality of education. Give me the rundown, the pros and the cons of what you've experienced.
I'll respond to the last few callers first.
Okay.
And, one, someone was talking about
Mm-hmm.
but Robert Kiyosaki nailed it. Teachers don't know anything about anything. They've never been outside of a school. What the hell do they know how to do?
Yeah. Okay.
And two, I hear a lot of people say how like they're indoctrination camps.
Mm-hmm.
They're not even good at that. You'd be amazed how little goes on throughout the course of the day inside the buildings.
Mm.
Back to the beginning, you know what our school system is based on?
What is that? You can run down.
It's the Prussian model, from Prussia, Germany, from 120 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And the entire purpose of the Prussian model is to produce good, loyal employees and good, loyal soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
It's designed for the industrial age.
Mm.
However, our kids don't go to school and go work in a factory anymore.
Right.
It's been entirely irrelevant for the last 20 years. We live in an information age. Robert Kiyosaki's 100% correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it hasn't been applicable for a very long time, and I desperately hope that this extreme environment makes people start to question this. It's almost an untouchable institution where, to speak out against it is like heresy.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been relevant for a very long time.
Yeah.
Are your kids still in school?
So I just last year removed my kids from private school. And so I was having issues with the quality of it. It was better than public school by far. But yet I went to the same school myself, and I realized that the teachers, my oldest was learning similar things that I learned 25 years ago. And I'm thinking like, we are in a completely different time right now. We're in a completely different age, but they're still learning similar things. But yet they got the laptops and all the technology and bells and whistles in the class. But what it made it even worse was most of the teachers taught off of a screen, not actually on the board with the black marker or chalk anymore. So teachers got lazier, but charging more money. So I had to just change some things and rethink some things in that regard myself.
Well, you and I are the same. I took my kids out of school for the last year and just had them on. My last couple of years were a bit, embarrassing. I just couldn't handle it anymore.
Yeah.
But it's worse than when you went 25 years ago, because what happened since then was no child led ahead.
Right.
Right. What happened after No Child Led Ahead, or
Left Behind,
technically it was called Left Behind,
yeah,
is that all of our funding was tied to standardized testing scores. So the net result of that is everything that didn't have to do with math and reading started getting cut. And that's why schools aren't even good at indoctrination, because you don't get paid for indoctrination. It's just the math and the reading tests.
Yeah.
So home ec, gym, wood shop, metal shop, all these things just disappeared in the last, 17 years since that passed.
Yeah.
So a lot of the really useful things are gone.
Yeah, like just trade skills in general, like stuff you just mentioned, like stuff that would especially here in the Metro Detroit area where we were heavy manufacturing a long time ago. All that shop stuff is gone.
Yeah, I took metal shop. I don't think there is a school in the country that still offers that.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that, so I don't know.
It's been gone a long time, Mike.
Yeah. Well, hey, man.
They let little kids pour molten metal.
Yeah. So you said schools they're not even good at even indoctrinating kids nowadays. That's how bad things are. Oh, man.
That's how bad it is. So all the people who believe that, and it feels good, it sounds scary, but we weren't even good at that.
Yeah. So
you don't get.
Yeah. So think about all the teachers. Like I've noticed a trend also. A lot of teachers that are calling themselves teachers, they're not there for the kids. They're there for the compensation. And here in the Metro Detroit area, especially, they're not getting paid anything. And on top of that, you don't even have to be qualified or certified or anything to teach kids now. So you just show up and just sit in front of the classroom. That is sufficient usually in the DPS system here. So they're failing the kids in Detroit, man, so bad. It makes me sad because we have kids that cannot read graduating, and they got some lawsuits right now of kids saying that I couldn't read going to college, so they're suing the city. You know what I'm saying, type of thing. So that's how bad it is in Detroit. So,
well, in Colorado, we don't have unions.
Yeah.
But what we do have, at least, in Detroit, you'll pass them along and they'll get the piece of paper.
Yeah.
In Colorado, we have one of the highest dropout rates in the country. I think we're third or fourth out of 50 states. I mean, only 7 out of our 10 kids graduate high school out here.
Wow.
And, and I went to university when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
I took the education classes. I jumped through all the hoops so that it could be my retirement job.
Mm-hmm.
I retired. I did it for about 5 years, and I was so horrified by what I saw. It changed my life forever.
Mm.
And now I'm an advocate for anybody who puts their kids in government schools. They either don't have a choice, and as you pointed out, even the private schools aren't doing it anymore.
Yeah,
the whole model is designed for a world that we don't even have anymore.
Right. Very true.
And I worked with high school kids, and it wasn't just my school. I mean, I coached sports 3 seasons a year. I went all over the place. I spoke with my colleagues. The problems were exactly the same everywhere.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, I appreciate your calling. Let me get a couple more calls, and it's always good to hear your voice. But yet, you said that it's not even good to indoctrinate kids. That summed it up right there for me, man. But it's good to hear your voice as always, Pete. Appreciate you.
It's always good. It's a fun subject. I hope people don't switch it back to the banks.
All right, my man. Be good.
You too. Goodbye.
Oh, man. Good stuff, man. Pete in Colorado. It's good to hear your voice, my friend. So, yeah, it's an interesting day, man. It's a very interesting time we're in. So much stuff is unfolding. And so as parents, we're going to be confronted with just some things that we would have never anticipated. You pay your tax dollars to provide your education, or provide your kids something all along. They're being failed, but yet think about all those teachers that are still showing up. That will probably show up. They're expecting pensions and everything else. So even on the white collar side of things, you got people going to work. The businesses are closing. They still expecting 401ks down the line. That's not going to be there as well. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's going on? It's Miles, live from New York.
Miles, how you doing, my man? Give me what's on your mind tonight?
I'm good, man. Actually, it's a couple of things I like to address, man, and it's more like questions for the audience and your viewers, man.
Okay.
How many of y'all have actually been seeing blackouts in like your infrastructure failing, like less garbage pickup, like a lot of the power grid going out? Because where we at, we started to see like a lot of surges, blackout for a couple of days, and this is storm season coming up and heat waves also. How is your area addressing that? Because I don't see nobody talking about that. And I think that's one of the factors that's going to affect a lot of people also,
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to get a grasp on that. And also as far as a lot of those states, man, like you see a lot of these blue states that are going on lockdown, like California, Florida, things like that, man. They just holding the people hostage, man. That's all that really is about. They just holding the people hostage to try and affect Trump,
Yeah.
And that's a double jeopardy right there for them because, people aren't that stupid. After a while, when you start starving a man, he's going to start looking around to see who's doing that to him,
Yeah.
And when they figure out, the Democrats, and the Republicans are bad, just as bad. You know, they're both like two crooked arms of the same, you know, dying body. You know, so I'm just trying to get a feel for what people are going through out there. You know, what are the food shortages still like? And is there still any civil unrest? You don't hear about none of that no more. That underlying current hasn't gone nowhere. It's been here for hundreds of years. Now all of a sudden you don't hear anything about it. And also one more thing, Mike.
Yeah.
Have you heard about the bubonic plague coming back? Yeah, them boys got something special down there in Colorado. And Oklahoma, they don't give half of it away to the Native Indians.
Yeah, I saw an article earlier that said a squirrel. They tested a squirrel. A squirrel tested positive for the plague or something like that. So, I'm gonna leave that alone, man. So anything that can scare the hell out of more people, they trying to definitely bring it out. So I would imagine that's just the beginning. All right, so I apologize for that. So I lost the call as well as whatever, went blank again. So we're going to keep rolling. So I apologize for that hiccup, but yet the downsides of the internet. So I today experiencing blackouts on the internet myself. So, but it is what it is. Okay, so right here, I want to actually pull up on the screen here opportunity that Mr. Vince Grant, who is a member of the community, wanted to bring to your guys' attention. And so let me actually pull it up here on the screen here. And so I can't find the actual offer that he extended to the community. But here's his website here. If anybody wants solar power. So here's his website right here. So I'll actually put this in the chat for anybody that wants to. Am I still here? Okay. Hopefully I'm still alive, but so I will put this information here if anybody's looking for a discount on saving some energy costs when it comes to solar. So I'll put that in the chat if anybody has interest and do such. And so Vince, also in the chat, my friend, feel free to shine some more light as to the opportunity itself, and I'll put it back on the screen for you as far as the actual discounts you're referring to. So I appreciate that, my friend. All right, so let's keep this thing moving right along. A couple more minutes, and then we'll get ready to dial back. So let me see here. Let me do. All right, so let's talk. Phone lines are open, apart from the internet going down. And so the caller from New York, Miles, mentioned about experiencing any blackouts, lack of services, and things of that nature. And so I personally have not. So other than just this little internet hiccup here, I haven't experienced anything directly about that. But yet I'm of the mindset that it's coming. And so it's one of those things where I've seen a couple of commentators talk about the possibilities of having blackouts and things like that. So I would imagine that at any moment now we can experience something of that magnitude. And you know, the question is, are you prepared? Do you have sufficient things to get by the next couple of days without your normal activity of having cell phone or internet? Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
One more time. Pay me money back to Lane, Texas.
Yes, sir. What's in your mind?
I want to go back to this banking and this money. I'm going to ask you some questions. Now, check this out.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about how money ain't worth nothing. We got to go somewhere. Money ain't worth nothing. Now, check this. Let me show you how far brainwashed we are as American people. No matter where you are, if you're messing with the American dollar, check this out.
Mm-hmm.
What makes the dollar valuable, Mike?
What makes the dollar valuable? So the Federal Reserve note as we know it. And so confidence, the military, it's the reserve currency. Most of us have been brainwashed to believe it is the only form of legal tender that we have to use as currency, amongst probably a bunch of other things.
Okay, now watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of other stuff, but let's focus on the main point.
Okay.
The value of the dollar was only valuable because of gold before Nixon, right?
Okay. That was international.
Okay.
That was the international label, or good as gold. International role of it was redeemable. Sure.
Right. Okay. 1973, he took away the backing of gold. Correct.
71.
71, 73. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Now check this out. Since then, your dollar ain't been worth nothing. It's been everything that you said at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
It took how many years just for them to come out and say that the dollar tanking? Now that people are hearing it,
Mm-hmm.
that's the only time that they want to take action. Educate yourself. The dollar been ain't worth nothing. You just been on hopes and wishes and dreams and sailboats and ferry yachts and all this other stuff. But it has been ain't worth anything. So that shows you the level of the American knowledge that 1971, this ain't been nothing but some toilet paper and cigar lighters.
Yeah. But watch this. I think it's even on the Treasury website, treasury.gov, I think, if not federalreserve.gov, whatever, it mentions that a Federal Reserve note is only as good as the things you can purchase when you go out and spend it, something like that. It's actually on the website. So as long as you're able to, to acquire something with it, that's the only technical value it has, and on somebody being able to receive it on the other end. So yeah, it still spins, so, and there'll be more than enough people willing to take it, unfortunately, right now.
So what you think the next step is?
More of what we're experiencing now with the coinage issue. So more stuff about coins not being there. And then that's going to be about the paper notes. And then they're going to say it'll be easier to just do everything with your Apple Pay, Samsung Pay, or credit card, debit card situation. And then they're going to roll out that next payment system with the digital dollar, which is basically them removing the physical dollar. So that's probably like the 4-step plan of what they're going to roll out by, next spring, give or take. And so they're gonna make it to
I'm finna go max out my credit cards.
So you're the second person tonight mention that. that might be catching on low blood pressure. That might become very popular. Go get as many credit cards as you can and max them out.
Hey, and then I'm gonna meet up with low blood pressure, and I'm gonna split the profits for telling me.
Hey man, appreciate you calling.
No problem, brother.
Yes, sir. Oh man, that's something else, man. So low blood pressure, you done started something, man. You got everybody talking about maxing out credit cards. Oh my goodness. All right, so we're gonna keep rolling, man. That is something else. All right, so Reagan made it legal. Barbara says Reagan made it legal again in 1986 to own gold. Discussed, in Constitution Article 1, Section 10. Okay, so I want to say it was 1974 that citizens could own physical gold again, and then the United States Mint then start issuing the gold and silver eagles again. But I get your point. All right, let's keep it moving. It says, will you have a pocket full of digital dollars? Farming the life. Will you have a pocket full of digital dollars? Well, I don't think you're going to have a pocket full because they're going to be digital. So only thing you're going to have is on your app, on your phone, you'll have your financial, your financial worth on an app on your phone, full or empty. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Mike, Tony from Oakland. How's it going, brother?
I'm doing good, my friend. How you doing? What's on your mind?
Oh, nothing much, man. I just want to change the subject a little bit.
Okay.
I just happened to be looking at the television, and they said they were looking at General Dumford, who was a 4-star general for 40 years, to come in and fix this money situation we had. And I started looking him up. I didn't know he retired in September 2019. That a 4-star general should have got big accreditation. He should have got a farewell party.
Okay, so okay, start out. Let me give it. So you say a general's coming in to fix this coin situation.
No, they are Nancy Pelosi and McConnell are looking to tap General Dunford. He used to be, you know who he was, right?
It's not ringing a bell, but let me know.
Okay, he's been in the White House for 40 years.
Okay.
And he retired in 2019 and went to go work for, I think it was Raytheon. And now you calling him back in to handle this money situation we got going on? Something's fishy.
Okay, yeah. So here's an article. I just typed in his name as you mentioned. It says Dunford withdraws from considerations to chair coronavirus oversight panel, and so
why would you consider it?
Yeah, I don't know. So he's definitely one of those deep state players that happens to have worked for the government forever. So he retired, and they want him to come back, but he refused to in this capacity as well as the other one, huh?
I don't know if he refused, but that's the way they put it out there. Because if you look at his farewell speech to his brigade, he's like, people like China, North Korea, and Russia, we need to fight against. And that's all he mentioned. And I'm looking at who we fighting against. And he still may have, and they just don't retire. They put a hand in the back door. That way they can get in.
Yeah.
And I think he may be still running things even though he's retired.
Yeah. Ah, man. So yeah, I knew nothing about that one, man. Yeah.
I just want to put that in here. And they're crazy out here, man.
Yeah.
They're crazy out here.
It is, man. Hey,
people are getting in fights over you got a mask, you don't have a mask, and it's just ridiculous.
Give me the rundown in your neck of the woods, man. With this now California being officially shut down again, is things around you closing again, or are they paying no mind, or what?
They paying it no mind. I mean, if they say shut down, then they'll shut it. They'll shut it down.
Yeah.
But they only do what they tell them to do, and everybody's wearing masks, and they will look at you crazy if you ain't got one up when they walk by. I got in a fight with a woman the other day. She's like, "You see me running down the sidewalk? You need to put up your mask." I say, "Look, girl, you don't know my situation." And that's all you got to tell them is, that if you've got asthmatic, you don't have to wear a mask.
Yeah,
it's not mandatory. If you look at the health out here, it's Alameda County Health. If you look at their website, it's not mandatory that you wear a mask.
Yeah, so I was telling my wife the other day that one of my concerns is that people will start acting fool out here trying to check other people. And so here in Michigan, I'm gonna put an article up right here. It says a mass dispute at Michigan store leads to one man stabbed and another man killed by sheriff's deputy. And so supposedly all over a mask. Incident inside, something jumped off, one got stabbed, one got killed. All they saying it's a mask related event. So this is the type of stuff where I can imagine it's going to get worse, man. You got the people who are living in fear, and they're going to make sure that, if you're not living in fear, they're going to force their fear upon you by making you uncomfortable or trying to put a hand on you to help you put your mask on your face. So,
right. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to let you go. We need to be careful with what we read and see on TV, because there's a lot of fake news about stabbings and Wendy's catching on fire, and if I see another Wendy's catch on fire, I'm gonna stop eating. All right, brother.
Good truth, man. Appreciate you.
All right.
Bye. Yep. Man, yeah, good stuff, man. Good to hear your voice. And so this article here, because I heard about it. Actually, it was on the radio first, and then I heard about it, and it's just, apart from not really knowing what's going on here, and we're just we're told this all about the mask, and so once again, if it has anything to do with the mask and somebody being confronted and whatnot, it's unfortunate that somebody lost their life in this type of event here. Whereas in people, mind your own damn business, man. If somebody don't want to wear a mask, don't be up in his face trying to be his judge and jury. All right, here we go. Caller, what's the name? Where you calling from?
Hey, how you doing? My name is,
do me a favor. Hit that mute on YouTube so it doesn't echo. All right, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Laertes, and I'm calling from Sacramento, California.
Laertes, how you doing, my friend? What's in your mind tonight?
I just wanted to, say what's on my mind. I just recently found out that Gavin Newsom just locked down, California again, and the malls and stuff. And, the first thing that came to my mind when I heard it was that, you know, they're killing the economy, basically, you know.
Yeah.
They're talking about 28 million people are going to be homeless by the end of September. And, you know, as I drive, you know, through work, you know, I'm a medical transportation driver, and I see homeless all throughout, you know, but it's never been this bad. You know, it's like you see them on the freeway ramps and on ramps and under freeways. It's just really bad, you know?
Yeah.
And it just makes me so mad because, you know, every time I go to the store, I have to go back to my car to grab another mask. And they talking about, you know, Gavin Newsom made a deal, you know, for $1 billion with the Chinese for masks, you know, and then he makes it mandatory to wear a mask. You know, I think people should be protesting in front of his house.
Yeah, I'm not surprised
You know?
that they're not as of yet, but I'm sure they will. And so I heard about he received a lot of funds for PPE and all that types of other things that he didn't spend it just yet, but yet they already bought a gang of masks that I'm not surprised now that they're forcing people or requiring people to wear them because apparently they purchased them all. So yeah, that's just bad business, man.
And I'm hearing that Congress went on vacation for a couple of weeks, you know, and people are out here losing their jobs left and right.
Yeah.
And they haven't even sent out the second stimulus check yet.
Yeah.
But when it comes to those billions of dollars for the corporations, you know, they pass that quick, fast, and hurry. People are really out here hurting.
Yeah. So here I got an article I just pulled up, and this is something I was going to talk about. But Nancy Pelosi mentioned that they'll be willing to delay their little recess if, you know, Trump and the Republicans start, you know, they try to compromise on some things. They'll be willing to, you know, to hold off a little bit on taking that vacation. So they're making it seem as if they're going to try to work something out. So yeah, they definitely need to pass some stuff for the banks first, as they're going to try to do, and then give the people some crumbs as always. But I imagine it's coming, man.
Yeah.
Well, hey, man, appreciate you calling in, man.
Yeah, let me just say one more thing is
Yes,
that
sir.
I think that every person should, you know, reevaluate their politician that's in office, you know, when it comes to the midterms or when it comes to whenever the election is. You know, everyone should remember what their politician did when it comes to election time.
Yeah, I definitely will
And that's
remember
it,
what
man.
my governor did, because I think more people have really seen, you know, Governor Whitmer here in Michigan, her true colors. And so it's good to say she's not going to be doing another term. So, but yeah, man, hey, appreciate you calling, boss.
All right, talk to you later.
Yep, be good. Yeah, man. Good to get that call there. So yeah, here's the article I was going to talk about earlier, but it looks like, you know, I saw a little speech today. Nancy Pelosi was mentioning that they'll be willing to, you know, hold off and actually come to some type of agreement or something like that. But you know, it's just interesting how they sell all this as like, you know, the American people, they need it, they're hurting, whatever, which is true, but they've been hurting well before now. It's just all of a sudden it's, you know, it's one of the things you can no longer avoid. And then also with Nancy Pelosi, I'm hearing about, I forgot what area she is a representative over. But yet I hear, you know, her area, neck of the woods, is loaded with homeless people. So she has been doing a good job on a home front her dang self. So, but yet to be expected, man. Well, let's take a couple more questions or thoughts, and we're going to get ready to dial back for this evening. And what else we got here? All of Congress is filthy rich cloaking. Yeah. So there's another article I saw about, shoot, I got to find it. It says, is it true Pelosi on a government paycheck over 30 years and her net worth is over $24 million on government salary? Barbara, I don't think her government salary, like, you know, whatever she makes annually, I want to say it's six figures, but it's definitely not enough to, you know, 24 million. I'd imagine that's more so from her private investments based upon her having inside information and having started some companies and scratched some backs and donations. So no doubt she's done well in politics for herself after being in there. I want to say longer than 30 years. I want to say, I think I saw, yeah. So she's been in politics. You know, everybody that is right now in politics, the same faces we see over and over again, they've been in there all their working career. And so at what point did they not compromise themselves for special interests as well as whatever other agenda that they've been forcing on the people for their entire careers? Says Nancy can dress. And so, okay, so the Pizzagate, what about that? So Maxwell, so we're going to see I heard something about her she pleaded not guilty or something. I think I read. So once again, until I see some names drop, some video footage or something of people that proves them to be guilty without question, I'm not going to really jump on the bandwagon thinking that anybody's going to be brought to justice just yet. Hello, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Michael, Dan Real, man, from Kansas City. How you doing?
I'm doing good, my friend. What's in your mind tonight?
Hey, man, I was listening to the conversation, Mike, and I just had to chip in, Mike, with everything that's going on, Mike. It's like a distraction from what's going on over there in the South China Sea because, we got 2 fleets over there.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually went inside the South China Sea yesterday, and we were telling them, hey, we don't recognize your territorial claim of the South China Sea. So we're kind of like pushing China's button because we want a reaction.
Yeah.
And I always think, like Gerald Celente always say, you got the currency war, the trade war, then comes the shooting war.
Yeah.
So at this point we're pushing China's button because we want that reaction. And I think before, they come out with that digital dollar because, China is doing their stuff and they want to become, the superpower. I always think there's always going to be some kind of military action before,
I wouldn't doubt it, man. So I pulled up an article right here today from foreignpolicy.com. So it's one of those agenda type of news sources, but this has been going on for quite some time now. And, the U.S. have been pushing everybody's button. More so bullying because of the reserve status, because of military bases scattered across the planet. But yet it's just only a matter of time before China, Russia, all those nations just stand up and make that next move, which will unfortunately have to do with our currency and lack thereof. So I don't know if it's going to be a hot war, but I saw an executive order today on Hong Kong or something like that in regards to the whole China situation. So the U.S. is trying their best. And I think China, especially Putin, all those guys have been very patient, not responding because they've been pushing buttons. But then also think this up. Think about this as well. China, President Xi or whatever, Prime Minister Xi, whatever, he has a 30-year, 40-year term, so like a life term as the president or whatever he is over there. And then just like I think a couple of weeks ago, Vladimir Putin has another 15 or 20 years added to his current role as president. So only person that's going to be out of office possibly the next couple of months or years is Trump. So China and Russia, with them having the same people in leadership for the next 10 years plus, they can be very patient with all this bullying because they're going to outlive all the current presidents we have moving forward for a while. So I think they factored in that when China and Russia both decided to add on additional 10 plus years to their presidency. So I think they're playing a patient game, I think.
Yeah, Mike, they're playing chess. They ain't playing checkers. We playing checkers over here.
Right.
They playing chess.
And losing at that.
They looking at the long term.
Right, man. Hey, appreciate you calling, man.
All right, Mike. Hey, and a couple Bank of America over here, man, in Kansas City, in the city region, man, they closed. We got like 9 or 10 of them that's closed right now. So I think it's probably 4 that shares like Kansas City, Missouri, Kansas City, Kansas, and the cities. So yeah, man, those are closing down too. So
wow, yeah, man. So I appreciate you for sharing that. I mean, it's clearly not an isolated event. It's happening all around the country. So I think that's one thing that the viewers should start paying attention to. Pay attention to whatever bank branches you notice in your area going under, and let's inform people about that. So hopefully, you don't have your entire life savings in those things when they go under. So yeah,
right.
But hey, my man, appreciate your call.
Mike.
Yep.
All right, Mike. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
All right, people. We're above that hour point. So I wanted to try to find that article real quick about Putin policy, Putin presidency extended. And so that's another thing that I don't really find that mentioned in the mainstream news. And so let me find out. Okay, here we go. So watch this. So President Xi or whatever he's called, I don't know if he's president or whatever his role is, but he has a lifetime sentence in a sense. And then here's an article. It says Russians vote on reforms that could allow Putin to remain president until 2036. And so this is from July 1st. So I want to say this has gone through, I think, if I'm not mistaken. or it will go through because he's already fired half the, his Congress and all that stuff like that. So here we have President Xi and Putin. We know they've been working together hand in hand for several years now. So they're going to outlive any type of thing that Trump or whoever the next presidents will be, because they're still going to be in power. And it's good to say the next monetary authority will not be from this side of the planet. I'd imagine China and Russia have something in mind. That's why they both got their terms extended to far outreach, anything that we in the U.S. can do. So just something to keep in mind. But anyway, with that being the case, that's all she wrote for this evening. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with me. And also want to make sure I acknowledge Vince Grant with that generous donation to the channel. And if you guys have not, if you wanted to save on your energy bill or whatnot, want to definitely make sure I put that in the chat again. Go check him out and reach out to him and find out how you can save some energy using solar panels. And so I wish I could do that here in Michigan, but we don't get sunlight like that. But here's the information here. Check them out. And other than that, everybody's been great hanging out. Look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow night, Laura willing. Peace.